3-point shots a game. And we are just about ready for tip-off. And we're going to talk to a couple of the coaches first before we get underway. And joining us now is the coach of Grantco Pacific, Alan Silva. Alan, as you get ready for the playoffs, first of all, you have your whole roster here. I imagine that makes things a lot better. And what is your strategy against strategy tonight?
Strategy, we got two big guys on our team, so we want to go inside, okay, and try to get some good looks inside and fast break.
The fact that you have played everybody before, you guys know each other very well. Again, without the injured players who are all here, like Caleb Dressler, who's been out for a while, you've got him back, Jeremy Robinson back in town as well. I imagine the records, you just throw them all out. What happened during the regular season?
It's done. It's done. It's playoff time.
And as far as defending a guy like Julian Sensley, who's one of the leading scorers in this league, what is your...
handcuff him, take him out of the gym. No.
In a perfect world.
Yeah, Julian, try not to give him the ball, because he's very effective on his three-point range. He's very good for a big guy. Yeah.
When people who are just maybe watching for the first time watch these summer league games, some people think it's more of a pickup game. There's not a lot of defense. You know, by being here all the time, there is a lot of defense. There is a lot of strategy.
You got to play defense. Okay? In fact, that's our strategy. You play defense. Both teams will score on offense. Okay? You get some of the best players in the state right here playing, and they'll score. But the key is go play some defense.
Well, hopefully you'll play some defense. Now I know your team is getting ready. We want to wish you good luck.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
All right, Alan Silva joining us here as we get ready for the tip-off, and we're going to be joined by the coach for Wealth Strategy Partners, former star at Hawaii Pacific. Marco Johnson is joining us. And Marco, as far as getting ready for the playoff games, again, the regular season is forgotten about now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts getting ready for this big playoff game? Win or go home?
We just want to continue to play as a team and get better every game. We've been doing that the last couple games. We're on a pretty good winning streak, and just want to continue to just play hard and play together.
You guys, some of these guys have been playing in this league for a very long time. You've been a veteran of this league, and again, having your full roster here, I imagine, makes a big difference, and especially when you have a guy like Julian Sensley.
Definitely, Julian is a pro, and he's been teaching our younger guys, and they've been getting a better feel for each other. So yeah, he's been a big help and a huge lift off of my shoulders because he can coach on the floor as well.
When you're coaching in a playoff game like this, again, you win or you go home. This is it now for the summer league. What do you tell your team before a game? Anything different than the regular season?
This is going to be, the level of intensity is going to be a little bit higher, play a little bit smarter, value the possessions a little bit more, and just continue to play defense and get back on defense and play team defense.
One of the players on your team I've been impressed with for years in the summer league, he's, I guess now called J.R. Brodus, you know him as William Brodus. People might remember him from his high school days, but this guy is one of the better players in the summer league and has been for a while.
Yeah, he's a great asset to our team. He plays great defense. His energy is through the roof. He's a vet, and I like veteran players, and he mentors some of our younger guys, and they've been learning a lot from him.
Definitely a great player. Well, I'd love to talk to you for a little while longer, but I think the players want to get ready, the fans are ready, and we'll get ready for the jump ball. I want to wish you good luck, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Gary. Bye.
And we will get ready for the jump ball for the Summer League. Again, Tony Solito will be joining me in just a second. This is the second game of the playoffs. The first game, Clark Patch Fitness did win 76-71. Their reward, they will get Artie Wilson's Solar Universe team on Thursday. You hear the buzzer, and we'll be back in just a second with some more interviews and get ready for this big playoff game between Grantco Pacific and Wealth Strategy Partners.
Smarter.
And we are getting ready for the jump ball here. Game number 2 of the evening. Should be a great matchup. Again, when both teams are here, Tony, you know these teams are different. You see the records in the regular season, but that means nothing now, and you've got full rosters on both sides.
Yeah, I was just saying in the last game, when it comes to the playoffs, everybody plays a lot better, plays a little better defense. They're running a little faster and shoot a little bit better. So I'm sure it'll be a good game. These teams are evenly matched.
And we get the jump ball over again, and now Wealth Strategy controls the jump. Point guard Keola Stitzel looked pretty good in this summer league. I've been impressed with him. Has the ball, passes off to Julian Sensley over to the right side, tries an alley-oop, and it goes out of bounds. It was intended for Quentin Leathers, and now Grantco Pacific will get the ball out of bounds. And we see them with J.P. Saquon from Farrington dribbling up the ball, drives into the paint, pulls it back out. And we see Caleb Dresser on one low post coming back from his injury and pass it up top where Aaron Valdez has the ball. He dishes it down to Caleb Dresser, goes off of his hand, out of bounds. You wonder if maybe these teams are a little bit nervous with 2 early turnovers.
Well, I think, there's a crowd, there's a beautiful gym. This Ching gym is just beautiful, and some of them are a little bit nervous. Some of the regulars, like Julian Sensley, I don't know if he's ever been nervous in his life.
Probably not. Never met a shot that he didn't like. He's got the ball over to the left side, the left elbow, dribbles it, pulls it up, and gives it down low to Leathers, who passes it up to the top of the key. Brodus drives the lane, but gets the ball knocked away, and Jeremy Robinson comes up with it, tries to go coast to coast, and does, putting in the layup. 2-0 Grantco Pacific.
Well, Jeremy Robinson told me, watch this, coach. I've been practicing for this, so I'm going to play better than I have this summer, because he hasn't really played that well.
And he's been coaching some teams up in the mainland as well. As Stitzel tries a three-pointer, it is off the mark. Loose ball, and there will be the first foul called of the second game. Right now it's 2-0 Grantco Pacific over Well Strategy. 18:52 left in the game, and the ball will be out of bounds and back to the basket. Keola Stitzel inbounding right now for Well Strategy. And he gives it up to Leathers, thinks about driving, passes it up top, and now we've got Coulibaly. Wally Coulibaly's been a great player in this league as well, really impressed with his play over the summer. Julian Sensley with a pull-up jumper and nothing but net, as Julian can really score from anywhere on the court.
Julian is. He just got through playing pro ball in Korea, and he's just a very talented player, very much like Jeremy Robinson. Jeremy Robinson's an excellent player, too.
Aaron Valdez dribbling up the ball, an offensive call, an illegal screen called on Grantco Pacific, and World Strategy inbounding the ball. Quentin Leathers from the Navy looking to inbound to Keola Stitzel, who is at Iowa Wesleyan right now. And they're calling an early timeout. A little surprised at that with 18:26 left in the first half, and the score tied at 2-2.
I think, Gary, that Leathers has impressed me in the Summer League. I really didn't know who he was, and I think he's come on the scene and done a very adequate job. Now, he's not somebody that you'll look at and go, who is that, who is that? But he's somebody who works very hard. He's a blue-collar worker. A little bit of talent for a big guy. He does a good job. I really like to watch him play.
That's part of the fun of the Summer League. Is that you see some familiar names, just like a Julian Sensley who has played at UH years ago. But you see some names that you're not as familiar with at the beginning of the league, but by the end of the league, you're very familiar with some of the talent out here. And the ball ready to get inbounded again after the timeout by Wealth Strategy. Keola Stitzel looking to get the ball, playing the point for Wealth Strategy. And he brings it up across midcourt. J.P. Sakon from Farrington covering him. Over to Julian Sensley in the right top of the three-point circle. And he gives it over to Coulibaly from Chaminade. Back to Julian Sensley, fakes a shot from the three-point line, drives to the basket, left-handed layup, good. No foul in the play. Great move by Julian Sensley.
He's an incredible player, Julian. There's no two ways about it. When he wants to play, you can't stop him.
It's fun watching him.
Just getting him to want to play is the hard part.
Sometimes that is a big question.
Sometimes that don't happen.
Grantco misses on a layup. Well Strategy on a fast break, 3-on-1, and they convert with Wally Coulibaly from Chaminade. Again, a guy I wasn't really familiar with before this league, but he's been one of the better players as well. He gets the layup.
Well, when Wally was a freshman at Chaminade, he absolutely killed us, and so I learned his name real quick.
6-2 lead for Wealth Strategy. Ball knocked out of bounds. Caleb Dressler trying to get it in the low post. And for Caleb Dressler, his first game in a few weeks, he suffered an injury and was taking it easy, but this is the playoff game, and everybody's back for the playoffs. Quick inbound to Jeremy Robinson, gets the easy layup under the basket, and Wealth Strategy up 6-4 as Keola Stitzel brings the ball up across midcourt for Wealth Strategy. Kona McCullough now covering him on defense. Julian Sensley gets the ball down low, looks for a baseline jumper, gets it off, and again, nothing but net for Julian, his second basket of the day, and they lead 8-4. Wealth Strategy up by 4.
Put a few people in the stands, Gary, and Julian Sensley don't miss. It's 3 in a row he's made.
And that's kind of what you expect from Julian Sensley.
Yeah.
Good memories from the University of Hawaii days. Caleb Dressler in the paint, thought about passing, but was left open, goes up for the jumper. He misses, but they get the rebound in for Grantco, and now 8-6. Wealth Strategy up by 2. 16:45 left in the first half. And again, Keola Stitzel holding onto the ball on the right side of the ski. Gives it over to Julian Sensley again. Thinks about a shot, goes up for a pump fake, then drives to the basket. Reverse layup, makes the basket, and gets fouled. Julian Sensley again, scoring from basically all over the court. 10-6, Welch strategy, as Julian Sensley will go to the free throw line for one shot. His third basket of the game early in the first half.
And I think that Jeremy Robinson has 3 baskets, so it's really one pro against another pro.
And I think as Julian makes the free throw, one guy to also look for in Welch strategy, J.R. Brodus, we used to know him as William Brodus, has been one of the better players over the years as well. I think it's just a matter of time before he gets his shot
Good
on
player.
Bell 2.
Good player.
And Jeremy Robinson bringing the ball up, passes midcourt, and looking for everybody to set up on offense, drives to the left, pull-up three-pointer, hits the rim. Caleb Dressler with the tip-in, misses, gets his own rebound, and gets the putback for Caleb Dressler, his first basket, 11-8 Welch strategy. Koulibaly with the ball, covered by Jeremy Robinson, who says there's no defense in this league. Jeremy all over him, preventing the outside shot. Koulibaly drives in the paint, makes a driving layup with his left hand over Jeremy Robinson. 13-8 Welch strategy with 15:50 left in the first half. Aaron Valdez dribbles the ball into the left side of the paint, dishes it off to Kona McCullough in the jumper, who hits a 2-point shot, 13-10. Kona McCullough, remember him from his AOP days, very good high school player, has struggled early in the summer league, but of late his shot has really been there.
Well, Kimo's another one. He's never seen a shot he doesn't like. He shoots the ball all the time.
The difference is now it goes in. Julian Sensley misses the jumper, the ball rolling around, loose ball, and Julian comes up with it again. He passes it up to Brodus, goes up for a 3-point, and he hits his first shot. As I said, just a matter of time before he gets his shot off, and just a very dangerous twosome there when you got Julian Sensley scoring from anywhere and William Brodus or J.R. Brodus doing an effective job as well. 16-10, Welch strategy as Aaron Valdez dribbles the ball, loses it out of bounds, and it will be Welch strategy ball. 15 minutes and 1 second left. 16-10 lead, and there'll be some substitutions as we see Kavika Lyons coming in the game, and also Leonardo Marioka coming into the game, former player at HPU for Welch strategy. There is a timeout, 15:01 left in the first half, 16-10 lead, Welch strategy partners with the early lead. And we will get the substitutions for Grantco Pacific. A player that I have not heard of for a very long time, looks like he's about to check in the game, and that is Leo Nobriga. Played at Iolani for a while, ended up playing on the Colorado football team, moved to the mainland, and I heard so much about him as his freshman year for Iolani, and he is one of the new players on the team, has not played yet for Grantco Pacific, but he is a late addition, as we sometimes will see that in the Summer League roster. And it looked like he was checking in, but now he takes a seat in the stands. And then maybe there is some eligibility issues going on there because he is not in full uniform. And again, in the huddle, looked like he was going to check in and now sitting in the bleachers for Grantco Pacific. And we do see a couple of substitutions for Grantco as well, and we will get them in just a second. And right now we've got Mikey Clemens. He is in the game for Grantco. And Brodus has the ball over on the left side, right behind the three-point line, gives it over to Kavika Lyons over on the right. Koulibaly gets it on the right-hand side, looks to shoot a three, and I know I'm not sure what they had called on that. It's like they called a timeout.
They called a timeout.
It's like he was ready to get his shot off. And Koulibaly, before the shot is taken, they do call a timeout. 14:44 left in the first half. Still 16-10 score. The winner of this game will advance. Again, you win or go home. The winner of this game will get Central Medical on Thursday night. Bill Amos's team, who had a great summer league. In fact, Bill Amos on Saturday got to the game at halftime. They were playing Solar Universe. Solar Universe had a 19-point lead in the first half, and then Bill Amos comes in at halftime, and they win the game in overtime. One of the more exciting games we have seen.
Well, Bill Amos is another one of the guys that was on my All-Star team with Negus Chan and Bill Amos and Keith Schamberger. They're three guys I really think play excellent basketball.
I would agree, and I would even be surprised if they had an MVP if Bill Amos would be the most valuable player. He sure has looked at like it at times and hasn't missed a beat from his University of Hawaii plays. 30-second shot clock in the Hawaii Summer League, and you just hear the buzzer go off as Welch strategy after the timeout lost track of the 30-second clock and were unable to get a shot off, and it'll be Grantco ball. Jeremy Robinson giving it to Aaron Valdez, who another guy has really shined at times in the Summer League, redshirted last year for UH, but has been brilliant over some of these games. And Konamakala has the ball. He pulls up for a three-pointer
Oh, he shot.
and does not make the shot, but he gets fouled by Julian Sensley, who is not exactly sure that he committed the foul, but we will see 3 free throws now for Konamakala from Grantco Pacific. Again, they trail by 6, and Julian still letting the referees know that that was not a foul. It was pretty close there. And one thing we've noticed with Konamakala, again, a guy who struggled early in this league, not afraid to take the jump shot, and really the shot has been on lately.
He just shot an air ball.
Not on the free throws, at least, but on his three-pointers, again, not shy at all. He had 30 points just a couple of games ago. Has 3 foul shots. Misses the first 2. And maybe his first time in a while he shot some free throws in this league.
Probably his first time he shot from so close to the basket.
He looks to make it 1 for 3, and the ball bounces from the back rim, goes in, and it is 16-11. Grantco Pacific trailing by 5. Wally Koulibaly for Walt Strategy, bringing the ball up, covered by Jeremy Robinson. And Koulibaly drives to the left lane, gets a shot blocked by Jeremy Robinson, and Jeremy Robinson ends up with the ball and gives it to Aaron Valdez, who was about to go for one of his famous dunks, thought a little better of it, went for the little layup. I'm not sure if he would have made the dunk from where he started off. Does make the basket fast break for Grantco, and now they cut the lead to 16-13 as Walt Strategy brings the ball up court. J.R. Brodus bringing the ball up, and he looks to see if anybody cutting in the paint, everybody kind of standing in their position. Now gives it to Kavika Lyons over on the left side to Julian Sensley, who is double-teamed immediately. Kavika Lyons goes for a pump fake, gives it up to Brodus for another 3, hits the back of the rim and misses, but Julian Sensley, as you might hear with the crowd, for a one-handed dunk off of the missed shot. 18-13 Walt Strategy. Get a 3-pointer by Grantco by Mikey Clement, and now the score is 18-16. A lot of 3-pointers attempted in this league, as you would expect, and we see Kavika Lyons going up for a 3. Misses it. He is the leading 3-point shooter in the Summer League. Walt Strategy gets the rebound, and J.R. Brodus for the layup drives in, and now it is 20-16 Walt Strategy. Grantco dribbling up the ball, gives it up to Clement, who looks up for Aaron Valdez at the top of the key, covered by Julian Sensley, and goes in for an uncontested dunk that he misses. Hits the front of the rim on the dunk.
He got blocked by the rim. You have to be careful, though.
I think Valdez was a little surprised that he was that open. Went in uncontested and just fell short of the dunk. You don't see that too often. Well, Strategy comes up with a basket now, making it 23-16. Valdez looking for a shot, passes it to Dressler, who hits the rim with his shot but does get fouled. He will attempt 2 free throws with 12:23 left in the first half. Caleb Dressler with his first trip to the free throw line.
Well, Caleb, a University of Hawaii center forward guy, and I think maybe when he gets in shape and starts concentrating on basketball, I think he might have a little bit of a future. A couple of years, he's a nice interior player. He's strong, and he runs the court pretty well. So, and he's a lefty, and that always helps a little bit because you're a little different than anybody else.
Redshirt freshman, redshirted last year.
Yeah.
We saw him in the Summer League last year. Hasn't played in a while in this year's Summer League due to a lower leg injury. And he makes 1 out of 2 free throws, 23-17. Walt Strategy has the lead as Julian Sensley brings the ball up court, looking for instructions from Coach Marco Johnson. And Julian Sensley holding it up by the 3-point line. Dishes off, quick pass to Koulibaly, who is not open, and Koulibaly passes it off to Kavika Lyons, who misses the 3. Grantco Pacific looking to convert on the offensive end right now. Aaron Valdez with the ball, and that 3-pointer was even far for NBA 3-pointers. Mikey Clement shooting the 3, misses. Well, Strategy with the ball. Kavika Lyons in the corner. Ball gets tipped away, and Grantco comes up with the ball. In fact, Mikey Clement was rolling on the floor, thought it might have been a travel, calls timeout. Smart call on his end. And with 11:42 left in the first half, Walt Strategy with a 6-point lead, 23-17. Tony, you've been coming to these summer leagues for forever. I've been coming to these for probably 20 years or so. We've seen so much talent over the years, and just seeing the talent that we used to see on the collegiate level, guys coming back for the summer and getting to watch them play is a real treat.
Yeah, it really is. I said this in the last game. Pat Taneebe, I think of him as an assistant coach because I used to make it mandatory for my players to come back and play because I thought it really helped them out as far as the season. And I have nothing to say but good things about the league, because as you see on World Strategy, there's 4 local players playing on this team, and not only are they playing, but they're winning. And I think that's why we have such a good crowd watching these games, and a lot of people are interested, because they really do play some good basketball, and definitely entertaining basketball.
Definitely entertaining, and I think the knock is some people say there's no defense. Well, there's maybe not a lot like a regular season game, but there is defense played, and we've seen some close finishes where it's really intense and a lot of defensive efforts on everybody's part, and that's fun to watch. For Grantco Pacific, P.E. Mins checks into the game, and we also have from HPU Farbod Farman, who started off slow. He's been impressive as of late, 7-footer for Hawaii Pacific. Jeremy Robinson with the ball, gives it to Farman in the paint, gives it back out, and gets the ball right back on single man-to-man coverage, and he takes the turnaround spinner and misses it as Julian Sensley comes up with the ball, bringing it all the way up court. Looks like he's ready to drive, and he was ready to get the layup, but it was blocked, and there is a foul called on Grantco Pacific. Julian Sensley going to the free throw line, attempting 2 foul shots as they lead 23-17. And even a guy like Julian Sensley, I mean, he played at University of Hawaii. It was probably about 6 years ago when he last played, but comes back every summer. It's great to see the local players that have moved on, whether they're playing overseas or going to college on the mainland, do come back here for the summer. And we've seen some big names come back over the years.
Well, the thing you notice about Julian is I played against him when he was, I coached against him when he was at Kalaheo. And he was a very good, he was an all-state player there. I watched him at UH, he was an all-WAC player there. Watch him in the summer league. It looks like he's never playing 100% and running and jumping and shooting. He does everything easy, and he makes everything look very, very easy. And he's an extremely talented young man. That's why he's been playing pro basketball over all these years. I think probably if he was a hard effort player, he'd really have a shot at the NBA. I've watched him play in the NBDL for a number of seasons, and he does a good job.
Yeah, he's been borderline NBA, I think, over the years. Did play in Korea this last season. He makes both free throws, and Well Strategy goes up by 8. And right after that, Jeremy Robinson driving in for a left-handed layup converts as well. Now it is 25-19 Well Strategy. As Julian Sensley, as you mentioned, can really do it all. He can kind of play your point guard spot if you want. Good ball handler. Can shoot from the outside, take it to the paint like he just attempted. Does miss the layup, however. And Say comes from Farrington, comes in for Grantco. Does miss the layup as well. P.E. Mins looking to get a fast break going. And it is Julian Sensley all by himself for the easy dunk, and 27-19, 8-point lead for World Strategy. Grantco Pacific bringing the ball up. J.P. Sakan giving it up to Clement, who holds it up way past the three-point line, covered by Julian Sensley. Gives it back to Jeremy Robinson, who will try to set something up. He's a little fake, pulls up with a three-pointer, and Jeremy Robinson does miss that. P.E. Mins coming up with a rebound for World Strategy. Brings it up across the midcourt line as we hit the 10-minute mark of the first half. Looking for an open player, and Koulibaly goes in, fakes a shot, goes into the paint, gives it back out to P.E. Mins, and he tries a three-pointer, hits the front of the rim and out. Aaron Valdez bringing up the ball now for Grantco Pacific, and we will see him drive into the paint. A little contact there, no call, and it goes back out to J.P. Sakan for Grantco Pacific. Remember, 30-second shot clock in the Summer League here, and they are down to 13 on the shot clock as Sakan look to create something, covered by Julian Sensley on a switch. Caleb Dressler now with the ball in the low paint, moves a little to his left, tries up a little hook shot, does not fall, ball bounces around, he gets it, tries another shot, and Dressler misses again. Julian Sensley with the ball as World Strategy will approach the midcourt line, up by 8 points, and looking to get in command of this game. We have seen leads in the Summer League disappear pretty quickly. As I mentioned on Saturday, Solar Universe, Artie Wilson's team up by 19 and ended up losing the game. No lead is safe, although World Strategy just increases their lead. Wally Koulibaly with a three-pointer, 30-19 World Strategy with the lead.
Well, no lead is safe, Garrett, because there's so much offense played in this Summer League. And you made a statement, and I said this before in the first game. Nobody's playing defense. Nobody ever plays defense. NBA, college, nobody does.
They played at crunch time, at the important time.
They make an effort. That's what I like. They make an effort.
And of course, in the Summer League, you don't want to risk injury, so you still play hard, but you might ease up a little bit on the defensive side. But we've seen, again, close games where There's a very intense play on both sides, offensively and defensively. Brodus misses a layup for Walt Strategy, and Saquon brings the ball up for Grantco Pacific, looking to get back to single digits, trailing by 11 now in this game. Saquon goes up for a layup, is fouled on the way, basket no good, but he will get 2 free throws for Grantco Pacific, looking to cut the lead again. Right now, an 11-point lead for Walt Strategy, trying to get back to single digits. As we were getting a substitution for Grantco Pacific, going to get a couple of guys checking in. Kona McCullough will be back in the game in just a minute. And also a guy who I think the first time we've seen him in the Summer League, Bradley Jackson. Didn't play collegiately here. We've seen him a few times in the Summer League, and he's a pretty efficient player. He's got some really good moves offensively. He checks in now for Grantco Pacific.
I have watched the league, and I don't remember him playing that many games, so I can't really say much about him.
Been a few times, in fact, on the roster. They don't list him at all as far as where he had played. They did have him under Chaminade a month or so ago, and Chaminade indicated he was not a player on their team. Saquon makes both free throws, and now it is a 9-point lead, 30-21 for Walt Strategy. Koulibaly drives in, loses the ball out of bounds. They will retain possession with 8 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game. And looks like we might be getting another substitution, but the ball about to be inbounded, so that will have to wait. As Walt Strategy inbounding to Julian Sensley up top. Drives a little bit to his left, pulls up for a three-pointer. Misses that shot, kind of off to the right. Dressler with the rebound gives it over to Aaron Valdez as Grantco coming up court. And we'll see what Valdez moves over to his left, does a little spin move, drives to the basket, a little give and go with Dressler, who appeared to travel, and that is the call. Caleb Dressler making the shot, but he did travel before the shot was
he traveled because he got bumped, and that's a travel, but that's one of the reasons why he traveled. He got bumped a little
Definitely
bit hard.
contact there.
Yeah.
As we see Brodus with the ball, passes it over to Leathers, gives it back inside to Julian Sensley, posting up. Right of the basket, little turnaround jump shot, banks it in, and for Julian Sensley, that's a money shot. Never really has much doubt when he's shooting like that. 32-21, Walt Strategy with the lead as Grantco comes back. Saquon's a little fake, crossover dribble, makes the basket, driving layup, and also gets fouled, so he will get 1 free throw as the lead is cut to 9, 32-23. Walt Strategy still with a 9-point lead, and Saquon going back to the free throw line, just converted 2, and looking to make it a 3-point play and getting their team back in it. Again, we have seen double-digit leads, especially in the first half. They can disappear in a hurry, especially with so many three-pointers being taken. And with a fast style of play, also easy to come back when you are trailing in this league. Saquon makes the free throw, and it is now an 8-point game, 32-24 for Walt Strategy. Keola Stitzel back in the game, playing the point guard spot, and Bradley Jackson covering him. Little screen set up. Stitzel goes around, passes it over to Morioka down low. He goes for the jump shot, misses it. Grantco with the rebound, and it is J.P. Saquon from Farrington. Gives it up to Caleb Dressler, who loses it out of bounds. Caleb Dressler thinking he might have gotten fouled. I think that was a good no call. He just lost the ball out of bounds on that play.
Well, as I said in the last game, they don't call fouls in Hawaii. You have to be a basketball player that's going to take a little bit of contact because they really don't call that many fouls.
I think in this league that's kind of okay. They let the players play. I mean, they do call fouls, but they let you play a little bit more physical style. As long as they're consistent with it, I would imagine the players are okay with that.
Well, when I was in college, we played a completely different game on the mainland than we did here because we had to be very careful because the game here is a lot more. They allow you to be a lot more physical. When you went to the mainland, they kept calling these small little ticky-tack fouls, and as a result, we were in trouble a lot of the time.
And it's kind of the reason John Thompson stopped bringing his Georgetown games here. He wasn't too happy with some of the officiating. He goes back a long ways there. Grantco Pacific gets the ball. J.P. Saquon again. He has scored 8 points in a row now with a three-pointer, cutting the lead to 5. They were just trailing by 11, and a nice little run here for Grantco getting back in the game, 32-27. Julian Sensley with the ball, passes it down to the low post, and we get the shot by Leathers. He misses the turnaround jumper, but the offensive rebound comes out. Julian Sensley has it over to the left, gives it down low to Morioka. He looks to spin to the right, tries a little mini hook shot. That misses as well. Valdez with the rebound brings it across half court and looks to try to get an opening. A pick set by Dressler. Valdez pulls up with a 3. It misses. Dressler battling for the rebound, and it goes out of bounds, and looks like it went off of Caleb Dressler. As Walt Strategy will retain possession. 5 minutes and 37 seconds left in the first half. 32-27. Walt Strategy with the lead and with the ball as they look to inbound it right now. And when you look for Walt Strategy, another familiar name in the game, Nick Velasquez, former Punahou star, is now in the game for Walt Strategy. He inbounds the ball to Stitzel, who comes over to the left side, looks to get Julian Sensley in a post-up and gives him the ball down low. Look for the give and go. It is not there. Julian dribbling into the paint. Goes up for the shot, gets double teamed, misses, but does get fouled by Kona Makawa. And Julian Sensley now going to the free throw line for 2 shots. And again, Nick Velasquez checking into the game, another big name in high school basketball over the years. Did a great job for Punahou, former state champion there. And it'll be fun seeing him on the collegiate level as he will be attending Western Washington.
A good three-point shooter. I hope they give him a redshirt year. I think he'll need a year to develop. And what they did with Aaron Valdez. I think, if you look at Aaron and Nick standing next to each other, you can see the size difference. I don't know where UH is going to play Aaron at a 2 or a 3, but he's extremely athletic. He's an excellent jumper. Tough kid. I really liked him last year, and I think, a redshirt year really helped him, and he'll probably do a little bit contributing this year.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a 2 or 3, maybe depending on the situation. And we all know he won the dunk contest at Midnight Ohana last year, but that's all we really knew him was as far as his leaping ability. But in the summer league, you see him as an all-around player. He handles the ball very well, play good defense. Again, very athletic, so he can block shots and play good defense. But I like his overall style of play. And again, handling the ball an awful lot for Grantco. He just gives the ball up to Jeremy Robinson, who is trying to drive into the paint. He does get fouled by Quentin Leathers, and Jeremy Robinson does get fouled. They are not in the bonus yet, so it will be inbounded right next to his midcourt. Again, 33-27. Walt Strategy with the lead as Caleb Dressler takes a rest, and we get returning to the game Farbod Farman from HPU. They list him as 6'11". We've heard 7 feet as well. Jeremy Robinson on a give and go, an attempt to give to Farman. The ball is knocked away, and now for Walt Strategy, they get the fast break layup. Quentin Leathers with the easy dunk, and they are up 35-27. Grantco with the ball, and for the first time in the game, we are seeing former Moanalua player Kahanu Puileli Ald is in the game, who will be attending Chaminade. Grantco turns over the ball, and Stitzel tries an alley-oop, but Aaron Valdez just putting his arms up and jumping blocks the pass. And now we have to see a fast break attempt, and Kona Makawa going up for the dunk, the one-handed dunk, but he misses. The ball goes out of bounds. Walt Strategy getting the ball out of bounds, and we will see Nick Velasquez inbounding to Julian Sensley. 4:12 left in the first half, 35-27 lead for Walt Strategy. Julian Sensley covered by Jeremy Robinson, gives it back to Stitzel, who hands it right back to Julian Sensley, right in front of the bench. And looking to get a pick set. It is set. Julian goes right through, drives to the basket, and it was really in no man's land. He ended up passing the ball to a Grantco player because there was nobody else around, but they do call the foul as he gets triple teamed as he gets into the paint area, and he will go to the free throw line.
I think you saw there an example of his deception with the ball, and his ability to draw a foul when he feels like it. And he's an outside shooter also. He's a mid-range shooter. I don't know he's a very talented person, and when he wants to play basketball, he's very hard to handle. He can literally carry the team by himself. That's when he wants to.
If you envision him in the NBA, what position? Because he plays all over. I would think maybe either a 3. I don't think he would really be a 4, but where would you see him in the NBA?
Well, I think there's no question he'd be a 3. I just wish he was a little quicker, and I think if he had the quickness, he would have been in the NBA. He just didn't have that extra step and a half or 2 steps, and that's why he stayed in the lesser leagues. But he's very talented. He can play anywhere in the world he wants to. He's had contract after contract,
right,
and done a good job playing pro basketball.
He made a nice living there, and I wouldn't complain with that. Started off in Germany, got a little homesick, came back, but as you said, has traveled the world, NBDL, and been all over. And again, you make a good living playing basketball. I wouldn't complain. I think that's a great deal.
No, I really think it's terrific that he comes back every summer because he really adds a lot to the league.
Oh, sure. I know people are always wondering if Julian is coming back, and one of the more exciting players to see in this league. And like you said, can score from anywhere. As Grantco has the ball, Pule Owl has the ball, is waiting for the shot clock. Looking at it is down to 5. He forces up a jumper, nothing but net. He knew the shot clock was about to expire, took a glance over and hits the jumper. Nice play by the OIA East Player of the Year a couple years ago. And a whistle is called as Stitzel takes the ball, trying to get into the paint, attempting a layup. He is fouled as he is driving, and he will go to the free throw line. 3:17 left in the first half. 36-29, 7-point lead for Walt's Strategy. It looked for a few minutes like they might have been able to, or trying to pull away as they had the lead up to 11. As soon as it got to 11, we saw J.P. Saquon for Grantco come back and score 8 points in a row and get their team back in the game. Stitzel at the free throw line. Ready for his first shot. And he does make that. It was a 1-and-1.
He's had a good season. He's had a good summer, the young man. He's played some pretty good basketball, and it was fun watching him. He's done a good job. He's very commanding, and
plays hard.
He runs the court really well, and he plays very hard, like you say.
And they list him as 5'6". The first game I saw him in uniform, I was wondering what I would see out of him. And again, not intimidated by any of the big guys in this league at all. That's what I like about him as well.
I think he's a Roosevelt boy, isn't he?
Hits both free throws, 38-29 lead. As Pule Owl goes up with a three-pointer, he misses that for Grantco. Ball rolling around. J.R. Brodus gets the ball, gives it over to Stitzel, hands it over to Koulibaly. About to attempt a three, fakes it, goes up for the three, and hits it. And Walt's Strategy now getting back that lead to double digits, 41-29, a 12-point lead with 2:52 left in the first half. Jeremy Robinson bringing the ball across midcourt, covered by Koulibaly. Drives to the left, goes into the paint, switches to his right hand, and the ball around the rim and out. Brodus on a fast break, and looks like he was about to go up for the shot and maybe draw contact and a foul. Dishes it off to Koulibaly in the corner. The ball is battled around, goes out of bounds. Walt's Strategy still with the ball. 2:33 left in the first half. Koulibaly inbounding for Walt's Strategy, gives it over to Stitzel. And he looks for a pick to be set. It is not, so he's just going to dribble the ball with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. He drives left-handed, turns around, gives it back over to Brodus, who's good ball passing, gives it over to Koulibaly, who misses the shot from right in the paint there. You see Brodus in now, tries a little bank shot on a running layup. That misses. Leathers with the offensive rebound, one-handed dunk attempt. That is in and out. Julian Sensley picks up the ball, goes in for a layup. That is around the rim and out. And on that possession, a whole bunch of shots all around the basket, but none of them falling through for Walt's Strategy. Conor McCullough trying his second dunk attempt of the game. This one is no good, but he is fouled. He will go to the free throw line with Grantco down by 12, 41-29, a minute 57 left. I give McCullough credit. He doesn't seem like a guy who would necessarily dunk in this league, but that's 2 attempts in a row.
Well, I think if I was a defensive player guarding him, I would always look for him to take. This is his second air ball he shot.
Yes, that's even more remarkable. More so than dunk attempts is 2 air ball free throws. That's hard to do. And his jump shot has been really up there lately.
He should step back and shoot from the three-point line.
Get a better percentage up there. He will try his second attempt, and this is his 5th free throw overall. He makes this one. He's 2 for 5 from the free throw line. It is 41-30. Walt's Strategy with the lead and the ball. A minute 50 left in the game. Julian Sensley brings it over to the right side, covered by Farburn. And Julian Sensley about to drive into the paint, goes up the right side, dishes it out to Koulibaly, goes up for a three, hits the front of the rim and out. Julian Sensley tips it, but to Jeremy Robinson, who brings the ball up court. Passes it, Pule Owl goes up for the three. That hits the front of the rim and out. Long rebound, which means an easy basket for Wally Koulibaly. And Walt's Strategy gets another basket, now with a 13-point lead, 43-30, a minute 20 left in the first half. And for Grantco Pacific, we've got Conor McCullough with the ball, covered by J.R. Brodus. Gets the screen set, takes left, goes back left.
He's going to shoot it.
And as Tony Solito predicted, goes up for the shot. This is an air ball. It hits the net, but it hit just the bottom of the net. And the ball does go out of bounds, and it looks like Grantco Pacific will get possession. Again, a minute 3 left in the first half, 43-30. Walt's Strategy with the lead. McCullough with the ball, dribbles it, goes right, drives to the baseline, goes up for the shot, but it is blocked by Quentin Leathers of the Navy, and an easy block for Quentin Leathers there. Alley-oop attempt from Koulibaly to Julian Sensley. They do not connect. The ball goes out of bounds. Grantco Pacific will get the ball, trailing by 13, 51 seconds left in the first half. And we will see if Grantco Pacific maybe going for a 2-for-1 with a 30-second shot clock, trying to get 2 possessions and trying to cut this lead back down again. They were down by 11 early, cut it down to 5, and now a 13-point lead for Walt Strategy as we approach the 40-second mark. Jeremy Robinson with the ball, covered by Wally Koulibaly. Looks for the screen by Caleb Dressler. Jeremy Robinson was going for a shot, got better of it, gives it over to Koule Al, who gets his shot blocked, going in for a baseline layup by Julian Sensley. Stitzel with the ball, passing mid-court, and he looks for Quentin Leathers, who behind the back pass to Wally Koulibaly. He misses a three-pointer, gets it back, tries another three. This one is good for Walt Strategy. 46-30 with just 12 seconds left in the first half. Grantco will get the last shot of the first half as Jeremy Robinson drives into the paint, gets an easy layup with 4 seconds left. Clock does not stop, and we see Chris Billiard from Kapolei try to get the layup. It is no good, and we are at the half, and the score is 46-32. Well, Strategy with a kind of commanding lead. We know these leads can disappear. If you're Alan Silva, what do you do for Grantco Pacific to try to get back in this game, Tony?
Well, you know, it's very easy to come back in this summer league because it's such an offensive league. However, it looks to me as if they are a much better team tonight. I don't know if they're a better team every night, but they look very, very good tonight. And it's going to be very hard to catch them, I think, with a 16-point lead.
Yeah, and one thing I'm kind of wondering about also for Mount Silva, Jeremy Robinson scored early in the game. I think he got 3 baskets in the first 5 minutes, but hasn't scored since then. I would try to maybe give him the ball, maybe get him some separation, some open looks. But we see Walt Strategy, when they can run, they do run. And when you got Julian Sensley, J.R. Brodas, and Wally Koulibaly from Chaminade, who is maybe not a familiar name to some, but he's been one of the better players in this league as well. They've got so many weapons for Walt Strategy.
Oh, yeah, Walt Strategy. And plus, Marco Johnson is the coach. And, you know, I know Marco. He played for me. And he's really into the game of basketball. So, you know, he really hangs his hat on his team. And he's done a good job in the Summer League. I think the games that he's attended, he has not lost one yet. So it looks like with this lead, he's doing a good job as usual.
Again, every team's got their full roster, so that makes things a little different. As Grantco is the 6th seed in this league, so they've got guys like Jeremy Robinson showing up. They are a much different team. And again, even though it is a 14-point lead, 46-32, this game by no means is over. A couple of threes, and they're down to single digits.
Oh,
so
absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. Summer League is you can lose a lead like this in a very short amount of time.
And we will see about the adjustments coming up. There's 10-minute half times here. What we are going to do, we've got Tess Whitlock as our sideline reporter, and he has got some interviews lined up, and we will cut it over to Tess Whitlock as he gets ready to interview, I believe, one of the coaches of the team. So we'll go to that in just a second. And again, this game is you win or you go home. The winner will advance and play on Thursday night in the Final Four, the semifinals of the Hawaii College Summer League. The first game of the night, Clark Hatch Fitness did win against National Fire 76-71. They will move on and get Artie Wilson's Solar Universe team on Thursday. And the winner of this game will get Central Medical Clinic with Bill Amos being the main player on that team. And I think this playoffs are kind of up for grabs. Artie Wilson had told us that earlier. And I believe that with everybody with their full rosters, I think really anybody can win this. We've seen some teams that are more talented, but everybody's got enough of a star on their team where I think they can pull out a close game, and you never know. And we've seen games that look like they were decided where they go to overtime. We've seen a lot of overtime games this summer.
I agree with you. I think any game can be any game can be won by anybody. I don't think there's a favorite.
I know we talked to you earlier about some of the better players, and you mentioned some of the 3. If you had to pick an MVP, who would you pick?
Well, I was talking to Artie about that, and he's going to wait until his team plays. And with the MVP, I know I picked Negus Chan, and I really like Aaron Valdez. I really like Greer from National Fire. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to pick the MVP from the championship game. I've always believed in that. I think it should come from the winning team, and that guy should be the MVP.
A little different than the pros. They usually do it after the regular season, but I understand that. You get some guys who haven't been here every game, like a Derek Lowe, who I think, to me, is most talented player in this league. Everything that he has done has been exceptional. So got a lot of guys in this league. He should be back for the playoff. Now we are going to cut away right now. We've got Tess Whitlock. He's got some interviews lined up as we cut away. The halftime score, 46-32, Walt Strategy over Grantco Pacific.
Summer League. I'm here with the Wealth Strategy coach, Marco Johnson. Marco, you have 46-32 at halftime. What are some of the things you're going to have to do in the second half to pull out this victory?
We're going to have to continue to play consistent defense and help defense and rebound the basketball, limit them to one shot. We have to get out in transition and make them guard us in transition.
What's been some of the things that you've been able to do against Grantco to keep them in the half court, but definitely keep the score down at 32? They're way under their average. What are some of the things you've done defensively in the first half to kind of keep their score down?
We kind of got up on some of their shooters and double teamed some of their main guys and made them make decisions, and basically just rebounded the basketball and limited them on second chance opportunities.
Well, you told me off camera that you didn't think it was over. What are some of the reasons you don't think it's over? Why are you still concerned with this Grantco team?
You never know. They can hit. They're capable of hitting shots, and they're capable of rebounding the basketball. They have a lot of good players who can catch fire at any time. They make a couple shots and get a couple stops, and they're back in the game.
It looked like Julian Sinsley really showed up for the playoff game. Talk about Julian and his impact on this game and throughout the summer.
Julian is a pro. He's an excellent guy for us. He teaches our young guys a lot of things during the game. They're learning how to play with him a little bit better. He just brought this energy today. He's been hurt and hobbling the injury throughout most of the summer. So I guess he's feeling a little bit better tonight.
Okay. Good luck, Coach. I'll see you. All right. Hi, it's Tess Whitlock here again. I'm here with Grantco Coach Silva. Coach, you're down at halftime. Talk about some ways you can get back into this game in the second half.
We're down by 7 baskets. How we're going to get back into the game, we have to play better defense. And we got 2 big guys here, one from Hawaii Pacific, one from University of Hawaii. We're going to try our best to get the ball to them.
Coach Marco was on a little bit, and he talked about his defensive pressure on your shooters. How do you plan on getting these guys going? The score's really down at 32. How do you plan on getting these shooters going, or is it just a bad night for some of these guys?
Well, if we take the ball inside, the outside is going to open up.
Coach, good luck, and I'll see you after the game.
All right.
All right?
See how eligibility you want to play?
Too old, Coach. Bye-bye.
And we are about getting ready to start the second half with just over a minute or so. Gary Dickman and The legendary coach Tony Solito here, courtside. Halftime score 46-32. Wealth Strategy with the lead over Grantco Pacific. I want to give a shout out. You can watch this game on Olelo TV, channel 49, or even on the YouTube channel. We understand University of Hawaii player Davis Rositas is watching on YouTube. We want to give a shout out. Wish he was here playing in the games. Hopefully he will be back here soon. But taking advantage in whatever country he is in, watching the game via YouTube right now. So we'll say aloha to Davis Rositas.
And I will say aloha to Davis Rositas, and I hope he comes back because I enjoyed watching him play last year.
And he has said he will come back, so we'll look forward to him. One of the a few players not in the summer league from the University of Hawaii, Christian Standhardinger, playing with the German junior national team, doing pretty well there. I think it's the only other player, both of those guys, in Europe right now, not playing in the summer league. Other than that, we have got everybody else from the University of Hawaii in the summer league. Some guys hurt here and there, but we are getting a good turnout from those players. Some of the returning players are fun to see, and with the new players, very impressed. And saw him in the first game, Keith Schamberger for Clark Hatch Fitness. When he started getting more playing time, we saw their team go on a 5-game winning streak, and he's been one of the better players to watch. Looking forward to better things with him for the University of Hawaii.
Well, I've said this before, and I'll say it publicly as many times as I can. I'm looking forward to the season because I think this is going to be Gib Arnold's best team by far, and I really do think they're a dark horse in the Big West. They really have a shot at it.
I hope you are right, and we are always anticipating a good year for the University of Hawaii, but I agree the talent that they've got, the depth at the guard spot has been evident in the summer league, and hopefully that will carry over. That was the spot they kind of lacked a little last year, point guard spot and the depth of that, but they have taken care of that with Keith Schamberger and Quincy Smith, who we have seen in the summer league. He's got an injury to his right toe, I believe, so he will be out of action for Central Medical, but a very good player to see.
And I'm a big fan of Garrett Nevels, too. I think he's going to be a terrific two-guard for them. He's athletic. He's really quick, and he's a smart kid, and I think he has a lot of confidence. I'm looking forward to watching him play this season.
Tonight was the first time I had seen Garrett Nevels play. He had 29 points for National Fire in a losing effort, had 23 at the half. But it was the first time I have seen him in action. So he's a great player. We've heard great things about him. Possible starter for UH as we start the second half. I said if you're Grantco, you might want to get Jeremy Robinson some more shots at half. It looks like that was the case because he takes a three-pointer, does not go in. As soon as the second half starts, it looks like he's looking to get his shot off and getting many more shots. He's the guy who can turn in 30, 40 points on any night. Wally Koulibaly gets a three-pointer, and I've been so impressed with him. A really good player for Chaminade. He hits a three for Wealth Strategy as they widen their lead to 17 points now, 49-32 Wealth Strategy. Jeremy Robinson with the ball, looking for a shot, looking to drive left. It is not there. Passes it back to JP Sakon, who goes in for a layup and a nice running one-handed shot. Nice layup, and impressed with him throughout the game. He cuts it to a 15-point lead. Grantco gets a 2-point basket, and it is 49-34. Keone Stitzel gives it to Julian Sensley, who gives it to Koulibaly over on the right side. Julian Sensley wide open for a three. You don't see him miss too many when he is that open, maybe too open for him. Wealth Strategy controls the offensive rebound. Julian Sensley gets the ball back at the three-point line, fakes the shot, goes in for a running layup for Julian Sensley. A basket, and now it is a 51-34 point lead for Wealth Strategy over Grantco.
That was a running teardrop by a 6'9" player. That was a pretty good shot there.
And that's one thing you notice about Julian Sensley. Again, he can be a point guard in this league. He can be a 5. He can play really all 5 positions and do them pretty well.
And he's a very versatile young man. That's what talent does for you, though. It allows you to be versatile.
Yes, it definitely does, if nothing else. Caleb Dressler comes back for Grantco, hits a 15-foot shot near the baseline, and it is now a 15-point lead. I believe that's Caleb Dressler's first basket of the game. Had some free throws a little bit earlier. Wealth Strategy with the ball, left side of the key. J.R. Brodus drives baseline. There's a little bank shot layup. And one thing about him, you can watch him really good attacking the basket. You can see him shoot from the outside, and he's got some hops to him as well. I really enjoyed watching him play over the years, and to me, one of the better players. There are so many in this league. He makes the layup, 17-point lead for Wealth Strategy as Grantco Pacific calls a timeout. Obviously, Alan Silva wants to try a different strategy to try to keep his team in the game.
Well, you know, I just like to say, you know, it's easy to watch Wealth Strategy. They have a point guard. The point guard controls the tempo. Stitzel does a good job. And as a result, you know, the players are calmed down. They play a decent game. The other team does not have a point guard. and so they use the 2 guards, and so it makes the game a lot more difficult when you don't have one, and as a result, they're not playing quite as well as Wealth Strategy. They're a good basketball team. They have a lot of good players. When you can keep Nick Velasco on the bench and P.E. Mims and those guys on the bench and still
point,
be
though.
winning by 17 points, you're doing a heck of a job.
Again, you've got guys that can handle the ball. We mentioned Aaron Valdez has done a good job, and others.
Yeah, they
but
can
it
handle
just
it.
seems like they maybe have a turnover here and there, and they add up, and all of a sudden you might be down by double digits because of not having the two-point
they
guard.
just look at the game differently. Having a point guard's a big advantage.
Aaron Valdez tries a running one-handed shot. It hits the back of the rim and out. Julian Sensley with a pass between his legs, looking in the other direction to Wally Coulibaly, who thought he had an open layup, but it gets blocked against the backboard. Grantco comes back, a give and go. Aaron Valdez makes the basket, driving layup, and gets fouled. He will go to the free throw line. 55-38, 17-point lead for Wealth Strategy. And again, you look at the team that is on the court for Grantco right now. You got Aaron Valdez and Jeremy Robinson, who can score sometimes at will. They definitely need some help. Got to cut back on the turnovers, and maybe getting a guy like Caleb Dressler just hit his first jump shot to get him a little bit more unraveled and get back in this game. But they've got weapons. They just haven't been able to convert enough, and Wealth Strategy has had several easy baskets. Stitzel brings the ball up past midcourt, covered by J.P. Saquon. 55-39 is the score. Gives it over to Brodus. Looks for Julian Sensley, posted down low. Brodus drives into the paint, passes it back out top, but it is intercepted by Farburn for Grantco Pacific. Aaron Valdez on a fast break to Jeremy Robinson. Back to Valdez, over to Caleb Dressler. The basket goes in after Dressler misses the initial shot, and they are now down by 14 points.
Grantco is large. I want you to know that. They got a 6'10 kid and a 7-foot kid. They're big. And they got Jeremy Robinson, who's not small, and Aaron Valdez, who jumps through the ceiling.
And as you say that, another block shot by Farburn this time, and that's about the third block over the last 4 possessions for Grantco. Jeremy Robinson hits a three-pointer, and 11-point lead now for Wealth Strategy as they call timeout. It is a 55-44 lead with 16:39, and you bring up a point where the big guy is in for Grantco. Maybe that's Alan Silva's strategy now. Maybe clog the lanes, intercept some passes, and it's worked defensively over the last several possessions.
Well, that was a good timeout because that was a good run by Wealth Strategy. So it was a terrific timeout.
And again, maybe this lineup blocking some shots, altering some shots, getting some hands up there, a little bit different than what they've done. And Jeremy Robinson, you can just see it in him and sense it, that he just really wants to get a couple of baskets in a row and just ready to get the confidence being built. And we see Jeremy Robinson, who can go off and, again, carry a team at time. Hasn't really taken a lot of shots in this game except for the first 5 minutes where he took a few, but over the last several possessions, and actually the whole second half where he started the half with a missed shot, looking to get his shot out there. And if he hits a few in a row, I'd be pretty concerned if I'm Wealth Strategy.
Oh yeah, he can string them together. I've seen him play last year in the summer league when he's had 40 points in a game. So he can really light it up, and they have to be careful. There's no lead safe here because there's so many possessions. There's so much up and down the court that no lead is safe in the summer league. I don't care who you are.
Very rarely will you see a team use all 30 seconds, sometimes by fault, without paying attention to the clock, and maybe after an inbound pass, and maybe in the last minute and a half of the game when you're trying to use the clock because you have a lead. Other than that, it's up and down tempo, and there's a lot of fast breaks and a lot of transition baskets by both teams throughout the league. Julian Sensley with the ball, back to the three-point line, gives it over to Leathers, goes in for a left-handed layup. He converts, and Wealth Strategy, after the timeout, gets a basket to increase their lead to 13, 57-44, Wealth Strategy. And Jeremy Robinson seemed like he wants to be more of the point guard for this team, handling the ball a little bit more over the last few possessions. Gives it to Caleb Dressler on the low block. He turns around, tries a left-handed shot. Looks like Sensley got a piece of it, but Dressler able to get the shot. It goes in. Nice shot by Caleb, and it is an 11-point lead for Wealth Strategy. Stitzel brings the ball up. Covered by Saquon, moves over to his left, brings over to his right, gives it over to Coulibaly, who sees a screen potentially there, goes in for the layup, pump fakes, gets the shot off, it misses, battling for the loose ball, it goes off. Grantco Pacific and Wealth Strategy will get the ball underneath their basket. 15:40 left in the game, an 11-point lead as Wally Coulibaly inbounding the ball for Wealth Strategy. Gives it over to Stitzel, try to get some separation, get free, tries to draw the foul while he goes up for a shot. No call is there, as Saquon played really good defense. Grantco with the ball. Aaron Valdez in transition gets bumped, driving to the left lane, gives it over to Dressler, who gives it to Farburn in the paint, backs out to the free throw line, and they will set up again. Grantco Pacific with Saquon with the ball, gives it over to Dressler, but the pass is intercepted by Quentin Leathers. Koulibaly on the fast break, and I think he was expecting contact and a foul to be called. Misses the layup. They really got a shot off as Jeremy Robinson comes back down. Attempts a three, misses. Aaron Valdez with 2 rebounds. Misses the first tip in, but makes the second shot as Grantco cuts the lead back to single digits. 9-point lead, 57-48. Well Strategy with the ball and the lead. Julian Sensley looking for a screen. It is not there. Gets a little mad at some of his teammates. Gives it over to Wally Koulibaly in the left corner. Gives it over to Brodus on top, tries a 3-point shot. It goes in, nothing but net for J.R. Brodus, and the lead increases to 12 points, double digits for Well Strategy. Once again, 14:30 left in the game. Jeremy Robinson again bringing the ball up court, crosses the midcourt line in front of his own team's bench, and looks for a screen from Dressler. It is there. Give and go is not. Farburn gets the ball in the paint, tries a turnaround jump shot. It hits the rim and bounces out. Well Strategy with the ball, and Keola Stritzel gets the ball, but loses the ball, attempting to get into transition, goes out of bounds off of Well Strategy, and Grantco Pacific will inbound the ball. J.P. Saquon inbounding for Grantco, gives it to Jeremy Robinson, or attempts to. It is intercepted by J.R. Brodus. Wally Koulibaly going in for the uncontested layup, and that was just a blown play. And
Yeah, but they were so surprised. They didn't know what direction the ball was going to go.
And I don't think they expected the defender to even attempt to stop that pass. Caleb Dressel with the ball, the left block. Takes a turnaround jumper. It misses. Julian Sensley with the rebound, brings it up court. Gives it over to Brodus, thinks about a shot, passes it over to Leathers, back to Stitzel, over in the right corner, and Wally Koulibaly with a 3-pointer, and now the lead back to 17 points. How quick it changes. It was down to 9, and in a matter of a minute, Well Strategy increases their lead to 17 points, 65-48, 13:30 left in the game, and it seems like Grantco, with their runs, gets back to 9 or 10 points. Did have it down to 5 in the middle of the first half, but really hard to get over that hump and really get back in this game. And pretty soon the clock will be a factor as Aaron Valdez drives into paint, dishes it off to Farburn. He makes the easy shot, and they get the basket. Still down by 15. Stitzel with the ball, looking for Julian Sensley. He is covered. Passes over to the left to Brodus, who goes in for a layup. Drives underneath the basket for a right-handed shot. It misses. Goes out of bounds, and Grantco with the ball. Aaron Valdez and Jeremy Robinson now handling the ball as they attempt to get back into this game, trailing by 15, 65-50 with 13 minutes left in this ball game. Jeremy Robinson goes up for a 3. It misses, hits the back of the rim. Rebound, Well Strategy. Leathers gives it up to Stitzel, comes down, goes into the paint, sees an open lane, goes in for the right-handed layup, and he was ready to pass off thinking somebody was going to be covering him, and nobody ever did. Easy layup for Stitzel.
Yeah.
Wally Koulibaly has 26 points for Well Strategy. He is their leading scorer. Jeremy Robinson with 11 for Grantco Pacific. As they make the shot, Grantco does, cutting it to 14 points. Julian Brodus with the ball, looking for Stitzel at the top of the key. He's covered by Dressler on a switch off, and Stitzel trying to take advantage of that with the speed advantage, but not the size advantage. Goes in for a left-handed scoop shot. It does not go in, and the ball goes out of bounds, and Grantco will get the ball back, down by 14. And in fact, they did call a foul on that on Keola Stitzel as well. He will leave the game, come in as a substitution. Kavika Lyons coming back in. He hasn't played a lot in this game for Well Strategy, and one of the better 3-pointers in this league.
Well, you know, the flow of the game, and they're leading, so they don't put him in because obviously the coach thinks that, you know, he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to change.
It's working
his luck,
right now.
you know
Why
what I mean?
change it?
It's working, so he wants to keep it that way.
Valdez makes a layup and cuts the lead down to 12. Aaron Valdez for Grantco Pacific, making the game 67-55. Well Strategy with the ball. Julian Sensley on the right block. Turnaround jump shot. Nothing but net. That seems to be his money shot. I mean, he can take the threes, but that little turnaround from the little past the elbow is nothing but net very often for Julian.
That is a hard shot to make. I mean, that is really a difficult
Tough angle.
shot. It's terrible. The guy's unreal.
got the size advantage, but the angle looks pretty tough. It's almost where you can almost bank it. As Grantco comes back down and they get fouled, they will get the ball in back of their basket, trailing by 14. And we see a substitution for Walt Strategy, and we get Dean Vienna coming in the game for Walt Strategy. His brother Drew plays for Artie Wilson's Solar Universe team. As McCullough ties a three-pointer, it is out Farburn with the rebound. Misses that shot. Julian Sensley with a piece of that also controls the rebound and bringing the ball up court for Walt Strategy. And Julian covered by Jeremy Robinson. That's always a fun matchup to watch. Julian over to the left side, pump fakes, passes it out to Leathers, back to Julian Sensley on the elbow. And Kavika Lyons cutting through. And we see Vienna with the ball. He will try a three-pointer, and that is nothing but net. So he comes in the game. Dean Vienna gets a three-point shot, and it is now a 17-point lead again for Walt Strategy.
That's a hard shot when you just come off the bench. That's a terrific shot.
Like to see the confidence in his shot. Again, nothing but net. See Aaron Valdez with the ball, gets a screen by Farburn, tries a three-pointer, and he makes the three-pointer for Grantco Pacific, cutting the lead down to 14. The Grantco Pacific, it's good that you're making some shots. You can't keep going back and forth like that. You've got to cut into this lead, and pretty soon would be a good idea for them. Julian Sensley with a pull-up jumper, a three-pointer, and that is in for Walt Strategy, and it is back to that 17 mark. Again, good that you're making your shot for Grantco. They've got to get some defensive stops, and they've got to get them pretty soon and pretty often because Walt Strategy's got that commanding lead right now.
What kind of stops did you say?
Well, defensive stops. Remember that word? There's some defense in this league. We're seeing it on one team, it appears.
No. I don't say there's not defense in this league. I said there's no defense in any league, in college, in the pros. Defense is a very, very difficult thing to do. People think they do a great job on LeBron James when they hold him to 25 points, and they call that deep. Oh, he does a great job. He held him to 25. Well, that's a lot of points to give up. So defense is hard at any level for anybody.
When you see the amount of points scored, I can understand what you're saying. I think also you might want to have the players work for their shots. And, you take a little energy away from them. Make it a little bit tougher.
That I agree with. I mean, I think if you can take away their energy a little bit and make them work a little bit harder, then you do a little bit better at the end of the game.
And for a guy like LeBron James, if you hold him to 25, it sounds funny. But if you take a little of the strength away, his stamina, momentum, you might have done a little bit of a good job because you can't really stop that guy totally. As Grantco comes down on a fast break, they missed a layup, and we see Quentin Leathers going up for a windmill dunk. It goes in. It reminded me a little bit of Dominique Wilkins with a windmill dunk for Walt Strategy, who is now up by 18 points, 77-59 with 9:30 left in this game. Kona McCullough with the ball, getting be covered by Kavika Lyons, takes it a little back out,
and
drives
he'll shoot
to the left
anyway.
side, looking to get some space, takes the three-point shot, doesn't make it, but he is fouled. Tony, the question is, will the first free throw be an air ball? First two were.
That's a good question.
I hope for his sake and for Grantco Pacific it is not, but Kona McCullough going to the free throw line twice, and in each occasion, the first free throw was an air ball. He did make the last shot on both of those attempts, and we'll see what happens now. He goes up again the second time for Kona McCullough, getting fouled on a three-pointer. And you said there's not a lot of defense. You don't want to foul a guy on a jump shot, first of all, especially on a three-point shot. And the question is, will he take an air ball free throw? The answer is yes. He's got the hat trick there, 3 air balls. And the good thing is that he rebounds from that, and when he takes a second shot, misses on this one, but he's definitely getting some adjustments there on his free throws. But again, as good as his shots have been, free throws have not been good for Kona McCullough. Misses all 3 this time. This is the first time he's had an offer from the free throw line, and things like this do add up for Grantco Pacific trying to get back in the game. You had an opportunity to cut it down to 15, and now you are at 18. Walt Strategy tried to make it 20, but Julian Sensley a little bit short on his layup attempt. And Aaron Valdez bringing the ball up for Grantco Pacific. We just passed the 9-minute mark for the second half of this game. Valdez drives the left baseline, finds no opening, gives it up to Caleb Dressler, who misses the shot from 3 feet. Walt Strategy with the rebound. Wally Koulibaly with the ball, gives it over to Kavika Lyons in the corner, passes down low to Quentin Leathers, back up to Kavika Lyons, looks for the 3, but he's double teamed. And now we've got Vienna in the paint, gives it up to Leathers again, and open in the right corner is Koulibaly. And again, a 3-pointer for Wally Koulibaly. we give so many names that have been impressive in this league. He is one guy I've been impressed with since day one. Wally Coulibaly is a really good player.
Well, you know, people watching the game, keep an eye on Wally. You'll see a guy who never, ever changes his expression. Whether he makes it or doesn't make it, or he's tired or he's not tired, he keeps the same expression. The guy was a great shooter in college, and he's a terrific shooter now. Very good shooter.
Player. I like that in a player. They don't get too emotional one way or the other.
He really doesn't.
Jeremy Robinson comes down for Grantco, gets fouled, makes the basket. He will have one free throw as it is a 19-point lead, 80-61 for Wealth Strategy. And Jeremy Robinson trying in some ways to take over the game, but can't do it alone. And again, too many turnovers. They all do add up. Missed free throws, they add up, and that's why Grantco finds themselves in this position, down by 18 as Jeremy Robinson does make the free throw. 80-62 with 8 minutes approaching left in the second half. And Wally Coulibaly gets a rest for Wealth Strategy. And we see Vienna coming back in the game. And Julian Sensley looks like he's trying to use a little bit of clock now, knowing they've got a commanding lead and knowing that the clock is their friend. Gives it over to Brodus on the left corner. He drives baseline and goes in for one of his patented layups, something we've seen him do over and over tonight and throughout the summer league. Here, Brodus gives the Wealth Strategy partners a 20-point lead, now their biggest lead of the night, 82-62, and time is slowly running away from Grantco Pacific. Great hustle play by Dean Vienna there. Hustles, gets the ball, doesn't get the ball save it from going out of bounds, but great hustle play. And love seeing that where players will play hard no matter the score. And we're seeing that from Vienna right now as Grantco inbounds the ball. Brodus goes for the steal and misses it. Jeremy Robinson drives the left baseline, gets a little basket rolling around the rim, falls in for Jeremy Robinson, and it is an 18-point lead. You can kind of sense the frustration if you're Jeremy Robinson right now by his mannerisms on the court. Trying to score, but knowing his team has got a tough task ahead.
Well, I think their whole team feels like that and looks like that.
They get a fast break, Grantco with the fast break layup, something we have not seen a lot of. And Mikey Clement gets a layup for Grantco, cuts it down to 16-point lead as we are below the 7-minute mark, 6:46 left in the second half. Julian Sensley holding on to the ball and gives it up to Valdez, takes a shot. Valdez trying to suspend, could not, and there's a whistle, and we will see if Wealth Strategy looks like they will get the ball under their basket, and Quentin Leathers looking to inbound for Wealth Strategy right now as there are 6 minutes and 38 seconds left. P.E. Mins comes in the game for Julian Sensley. I believe that's his first rest of the game, and a commanding lead for Wealth Strategy as Vienna hits a three, and that makes it a 19-point lead. And seen two Viennas in this league. They're both playing pretty well.
Yeah, they are. He just came off the bench, and he's playing really it's pretty hard to do for a young man.
Barburn goes for a three-pointer for Grantco Pacific. This was around the rim and out. Vienna with the loose ball pickup. He brings the ball up, or attempts to bring it up to midcourt, gets the ball knocked away, picks it up again, goes to the right lane, passes it into the paint for Quentin Leathers, who makes a left-handed layup. Good pass by Vienna, good conversion by Leathers. 19-point lead once again for Wealth Strategy, 87-66. Valdez takes it into the paint, turns around, passes it to Jeremy Robinson, who is right next to the basket, throws up a shot and missed it from really 2 feet out. Nobody covering him. I can see that's part of the frustration with Jeremy Robinson right now. That's a shot he would normally make. Kavika Lyons comes back down for Wealth Strategy, misses a three. Valdez coming up with the ball. Jeremy Robinson shooting a three-pointer that should have been worth 5 points. It was probably closer to midcourt than it was the three-point line. And again, another sign of the frustration, Jeremy Robinson just shooting when he got the ball, and that had to be about 35 feet out.
Well, the funny thing about that is that I've seen years when he would make those shots. And you know, he hasn't made them this year. Obviously, he runs a youth clinic, and he spent a lot more time off the court, whereas before he was on the court. So
that's something that should be pointed out, because these guys, it's not like in college is tough, I think, as well, when you got school going on. As Aaron Valdez makes a dunk, one-handed dunk, cutting it to 19 again. But some of these players, especially in the summer league, they've got jobs, other responsibilities. It's not just all fun and games like it might have been when they were an active players. So you remember Jeremy as being so good, but it's a little bit tougher these times that you mentioned, coaching some of these youth teams.
And that the same move Brodus made 3 times in a row to the basket from the exact same spot on the floor.
And Aaron Valdez fitting in the paint. Turnaround jump shot is good. And it is 89-70, 19-point lead for Wells Strategy. And just reading the facial expressions on all the Grantco Pacific players, they just tell they feel defeated right now. And there's still 4:30 left in the game, but it's going to be very difficult to come back from that, especially the way Wells Strategy has been in complete control of this game. But you hit a few threes, you never know what can happen. Jeremy Robinson, after that last three-pointer attempt, was taken out of the game by Alan Silva. I'm not sure if it was because of the length of that three-point shot, but it might have helped his decision-making as far as removing Jeremy from the game.
Well, he was out there quite a bit. I mean, he was out there, and I'm sure Coach didn't like that very much.
And again, you can't blame him. Again, it was a shot that, like you said, he can make those shots at times, but it wasn't the best shot to take at that moment. It wasn't even totally set. But that's, again, part of the frustration as they wipe the court. And Kavika Lyons inbounding the ball to J.R. Brodus. Takes it up by the top of the key, covered by Aaron Valdez, using use a little bit of clock as well. Dribbles over to the right-hand side. Dressler switches over on him. P.E. Mins gets the ball on the right key. And it goes back to Brodus, covered by Dressler again. And now the screen is set, and Nick Velasquez in the corner has his look, but passes it to P.E. Mins, drives in the paint, back to Velasquez in the corner. He throws up a three, and that is good. Nick Velasquez, another three-pointer out of Punahou, gets the lead back to 22 points, 92-70. We are at the 4-minute mark of this game. I am a little surprised these games are that decisive with full rosters by both teams showing up. I thought this game would be a little bit closer, to say the least. J.P. Sagan drives to the basket. He gets fouled. Will go up for 2 free throws.
Well, the only problem is that Grantco Pacific was 2-8 during the season. And they hadn't, they hadn't been playing well, and they certainly hadn't been winning. And so, that gets to be somewhat of a habit. You get down a little bit, and instead of fighting back, sometimes you give up. I said earlier when they were down by, I think it was halftime, I said, it doesn't look like they're going to really try and come back. And it's worked out that way. They have been losing all year, so it didn't surprise me.
And with Grantco Pacific, you mentioned they have 2 wins. One of them was with Llewellyn Smalley when he was on a roster or 2 a couple of weeks ago. But they haven't had their full roster intact. This might be the first time that they have had Jeremy Robinson at the game along with Caleb Dressler. And Aaron Valdez has been there all along, but they haven't had everybody together at once. And I think, first of all, that affects your chemistry. Playing, I don't know that they don't practice really for these leagues, but after a season, these guys get to know each other. But it's been so long since Caleb Dressler has played a game, and even Jeremy Robinson missed a big chunk of his coaching responsibility in another league.
Well, you're certainly right about that. You got to have some cohesiveness between the players.
There is a timeout on the court. 92-72 is the score. World Strategy with a commanding 20-point lead with 3:46 left the game. Look at some of the scoring totals for World Strategy. Wally Koulibaly's got 26 points. Jeremy Robinson with 11. Aaron Valdez now with 24 points. Getting a couple of baskets late, but it looks like it's a little too late for Grantco Pacific, and we'll see how the games will play out. Again, there'll be another doubleheader on Thursday night. We will have the semifinals as we get ready for the championship, all here at Clarence T.C. Ching Gymnasium at Maryknoll School.
I think those semifinal games are going to be absolutely excellent. No question.
Kavika Lyons with a three-pointer, making it a 23-point lead. He leads the league in three-pointers this season for the Summer League. And yeah, out of the 4 teams that will be left come Thursday, I can't think of one surefire winner. I can't predict who will win it because any one of those 4 teams can.
There's going to be great games Thursday. Can't wait to watch them.
Aaron Valdez with a three-pointer for Grantco Pacific gets his scoring total up to 27 points. Still down by 20. P.E. Mins now with the ball for Wells Strategy, covered by Valdez. Morioka gets a pick. Kavika Lyons gets a 3, pump fake, drives into the paint, dishes off to Morioka, who loses the ball out of bounds, and Grantco Pacific will get the ball with 3:01 left in the game. And again, there's still time left in the clock, but we will predict and know that Wells Strategy will move on to the semifinals in this playoffs for the Hawaii Summer League. Aaron Valdez, I'm not sure if that was a shot or a pass to himself, threw the ball off of the backboard while driving in the paint, and I believe he was trying to pass the ball to himself and get a shot. Neither of it worked. As Chris Billiard gets the rebound, former Kapolei player, and I've watched him over the years, very good player here for Kapolei. He gets the put back for Welch Strategy, making it a 22-point lead, 97-75. Grantco Pacific with the ball. Saquon drives in. Left-handed layup is no good. P.E. Mins picks up the loose ball, looking to get a 4-on-3 break going. P.E. Mins holds on, pulls it back out, and now gets the Kavika Lions going up for another three around the rim and out. They get the rebound. Lions for another three-pointer. This one is nothing but net. Another three-pointer for Kavika Lions. Didn't play a lot in the first half. Hit a lot of big threes in the second half for Welch Strategy.
Well, I signed him at high school only because of that shot right there. He could shoot the ball with anybody. Terrific three-point shooter.
Played his high school ball at Kamehameha, and Caleb Dressler tried the three-pointer for Grantco. That is no good. Dilliard brings the ball all the way from one end of the basket to the other, goes in for an easy layup. Chris Dilliard getting the layup for Grantco, and for Welch Strategy, not a lot of defense on that possession at all. We can tell Grantco is kind of thrown in the towel in this game as we are at the 1 minute and 30-second mark left in the second half. Saquon pulls up, goes for a three. It hits the back of the rim and out. Morioka with the rebound, gives it to Kavika Lions. He goes past midcourt, a little bump. No call there by the ref. Another bump, and this one is called. Kavika Lions getting fouled by Mikey Clement from Grantco Pacific.
That's only their second foul, so he won't shoot. So
Welch Strategy will inbound the ball, not in the bonus as of yet, with a minute 21 left in this game. 102-75 is the score. P.E. Mins gets the ball, looks for somebody open, also to use the clock a little, gives it over to Kavika Lions. He thinks about a shot, had that notion and just pulls it up, gives it to Dilliard in the corner. He is double teamed, gives it back to Lions. Three-point shot, nothing but net again. That is his spot, that is his shot, and he was 5 feet in back of the three-point line. I imagine he is in double figures after a slow first half. Less than a minute left in the game, 105-75. It is now a 30-point lead for Welch Strategy. This game really wasn't in doubt. There was a spot in the first half where Grantco cut it down to 5, but that was as close as they could get as Aaron Valdez banks in a three-point shot. I'm not sure if that was the plan, but he banks it in, making it a 27-point lead. Chris Dilliard with the ball for Welch Strategy. Gives it over to Kavika Lions, who would like to take another three, and does. And he is fouled on this three. By the way, Kavika Lions leading the league in three-point shooting throughout the league. He is a champion three-point shooter. A few games ago, he had 36 points in one game, many of them on threes. This is the old-fashioned three, or a different way of getting 3 points, will be with three free throws with 33.6 seconds left. Well, he makes the first one, and what a second half he has had.
Well, you know what happened, Garrett? I was watching the Kamehameha Punahou game, and he hit 7 threes in the first half.
Wow.
And I said to whoever I was sitting with at the time, I'm signing him right now, because, and I think he's a great example for youngsters. You know, they should specialize. If you're not the greatest athlete in the world, specialize. And when you do that, you make yourself valuable.
As he hits all 3 foul shots, making it a 108-78 lead with 25 seconds left in the game. Dressler goes up for a dunk, gets blocked a little. In fact, he makes the shot, but he is fouled and will go to the free throw line to make it a 3-point play for Caleb Dressler.
So, excuse me, Gary, when you see that specialization, you're saying things like, he's a great dribbler, he's a great three-point shooter, he's a great free throw shooter, he's a great rebounder. You know, and I think that should give young kids a real shot in the arm if they do one of those things really well, because they have a future. Because every coach on every single team wants a shooter, wants an excellent dribbler, wants a rebounder, and to give him a chance to go further in his career.
I think it'd be great if you're an all-around player. You can do a lot of things well, but if you can and specialize in just one area, I think that'll help. And we know this from watching local players over the years. They play really hard, and that's one thing they've always got going for them. It's not, obviously, some of the size disadvantages.
Well, and the thing is, you know, if you do everything well, you're in the NBA. So.
Right.
About that.
As the clock winds down, 4 seconds left. Welch Strategy just dribbling out the clock. Caleb Dressler did miss that free throw, finishes with 9 points. Aaron Valdez attempting a three-pointer at the buzzer after a ball just rolling around as Welch Strategy wins this game, going away 108-80. 28-point lead for Welch Strategy. They will move on and they will play on Thursday night. We'll have the semifinals on Thursday, and they will go up against Solar Universe. That will be the first game of the night. That's going to be a tough
A
match.
tough matchup. The matchups are tough next Thursday. I'm looking forward to the games. I can't wait to come. I got the best seat in the house.
Yes, we do. And one of the things about Solar Universe, as Artie Wilson has said early and often, they don't really have a lot of big guys. They don't really have any big guys. So when you get a guy like Julian Sensley going up, I don't know who's going to defend him. I don't know if they go to a zone and try to stop him or slow him down, but he's going to have a sizable size advantage in that
Well,
game.
he may not have any big men, but he's got 5 of the best players in the league. You know, Negus Chan and Derek Lowe, and you know, some of the guys he has on that roster can really play basketball. And Brendan Spearman, UH guy, and so you know he does a very good job with a small team. They run a lot, they give up a lot of points, but they score a lot of points. So it should be an interesting game.
And we've seen some of Solar Universe's games going to overtime, including last Saturday. Could have gotten them the #1 seed. Worked out fine. They still get a bye in the first round. I think that is big. We can get a bye, but starting Thursday, I think it also helps these teams that have a game under their belt this week and not the 5 or 6 day layoff. I think they're both going to be good games. That'll be the first game on Thursday. The second game will be Clark Hatch Fitness, which won earlier tonight against Central Medical with Bill Amos's team. And I'm not sure if Quincy Smith would be back for that game or not, but that's been a good team. They were the #1 seed in the regular season of the Summer League, Central Medical. And I think that's going to be a great game, as we've seen Clark Hatch win 6 out of 7 games coming down the stretch.
Well, like you say, that's an excellent game. I have always said I have a little bit of favoritism for point guard. So, I think perhaps maybe Keith Schamberger being on that team gives them a little bit of an advantage. But it's going to be a close game, and like I said, I can't wait to watch it.
I would think both games on Thursday will be close. I don't think either team can pull away from somebody else unless something out of the ordinary would happen. But I don't think they're necessarily even matchups. But I think all 4 teams have enough talent where nobody's going to run away from the other. I would expect both of those games to come down to the last 2 or 3 minutes.
And one thing for Central Medical, I had Kyle Pape and Bill Amos on my All-Star team, so they truly were outstanding players this summer. They had great games and excellent games, and I don't even remember them having an average or a poor game. So once again, I think it's going to be a terrific contest.
And Kyle Pape, he had a game in the 30s about a week or 2 ago. Former Iolani star, played at Colorado School of Mines and had a good career there as well. It's fun seeing him in this league.
Great career there.
Hasn't missed a beat, and one of the better players in this league as well. And I could not even predict a winner in those games, but we did get 2 winners tonight. They will move on, and some really good performances. We're going to be joined by players, and Marco Johnson will be joining us in just a few minutes as well. Talk about the victory tonight, but an impressive win. Again, the game in the second half was really not that close. Grantco cut it down to 9. That was as close as they got in the second half. They finished their season at 2-9. So
they had a hard time winning this season, and the kids did a good job, but they came up short. And I'm sure that they'll all be back next summer, because this is a great format in the gym, and it's a great format for the summer league, and I'm sure a lot of the players are looking forward to coming back.
Yeah, again, I don't know how many years this league has gone on, but I remember it in the 1980s. I know it's been at several different venues over the years, but it seems like it's getting better and better. I know the fans have a great time. The crowds have been fantastic. That's the main reason we are here at the Clarence T.C. Ching Gymnasium here on Marino School, because the crowds of Manoa Rec were overflowing over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And that's a good problem to have. I think that's great that the fans take advantage, and the games are exciting. We've had a lot of overtime games. We've seen some high-scoring performances by several players throughout the league, and I'm expecting more of that as we get ready for the championship on Saturday. Thursday, a doubleheader, 6 o'clock and 7:30. The first game again starting at 6 o'clock on Thursday will be Artie Wilson's Solar Universe team against Wealth Strategy. Game at 7:45 probably on Thursday will be Central Medical versus Clark Hatch Fitness. Those winners will meet on Saturday at 7 o'clock. Winner take all. I know Artie Wilson has had a nice run with championships in this league. I don't think it'll be that easy for him this year.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a tough one for him.
And I'm almost going to be kind of sad to see it end because these games have been so much fun to watch. But we are getting ready for players to go back to school, whether it's in Hawaii or the mainland, and they've got to get ready for that. And of course, the local college teams will be preparing as college basketball officially will start their practices in 2 months. We're not that far away.
Great experience for the young kids, and a lot more of them should participate. You know, a lot more of the college guys should come back early and play because I really think it helps them during the season.
Definitely does, and we have seen guys emerge, and we saw a guy like Isaac Fotu for the first time last summer, who played in the summer league, did a really good job, and again, we saw him earlier this summer. He did get the knee problem for National Fire, and I knew it wasn't smart of him to take another chance and play, so you don't fault him for that. He said he's feeling good, but he did not want to risk further injury, so he is out. But guys like Caleb Dressler, who's been injured for a while, he comes back tonight. I'll give him credit for coming back for a playoff game, trying to be there for his team, and we've seen several others come there. And as you mentioned, the University of Hawaii, we're seeing several of the new players. Keith Schamberger, we might have seen in a San Jose State uniform, and he redshirted last year, but this is the first action a lot of Hawaii fans have seen him in. You mentioned Nagus Webster-Chan a few minutes ago, the transfer from Missouri. He's going to be so impressive, and already is. He's going to be a fan favorite for years. He will redshirt this year. He'll only be a sophomore when he does play, but we have seen so many flashes of brilliance from him in the summer. That's going to be a great guy to watch in the future for Hawaii.
I really like Negus, and I really like Garrett Nevels, and I really like Keith Schamberger. So, you know, like I said before, I think University of Hawaii is a definite dark horse in the Big West, and I think Coach Arnold did a great job in recruiting positions that he needed. He needed guards. He needed a certain type of guard for the Big West, and he got them. I don't know how he got them, but he got some real good ones out of California, and that would be a hard place to recruit with all those Big West teams there. And I just can't wait till the season starts.
Yeah, that was a big knock for them last year. They didn't have the good guard play as other teams. We knew the Big West was guard dominated, and now we see Gib Arnold recruit in that area. I think it's going to make a major difference for this season. And I know we're going to go to some interviews coming up in just a few minutes, and we're going to cut over to Tess Whitlock. He is ready to interview the winning coach and maybe even a player or so. So we're going to cut over to Tess Whitlock right now and get ready for their interviews. Again, the final score, 108-78. Walt Strategy wins the game.
I'm at the 2013 Summer League. I'm sitting here with Julian Sensley. Julian, talk a little bit about what it took tonight to get the victory.
Defense. You know, one thing about Summer League is, you know, some teams come to play D, or, you know, and other teams don't. And we showed up tonight to try to get defensive stops. You know, we wanted to try and win this game just through defense. And, you know, able to get good stops. We were able to get some easy buckets in transition.
I saw you earlier warming up, and then I saw you in the game. It really looked like you had a lot of command on the game. Talk a little bit about what your mindset was coming into this game.
You know, just I'm one of the vets on the team, one of the older guys, and you know we have a lot of young guys, and you know so I was just trying to do my job as an older guy to try to put guys in their place at their strong points. You know, if you're a shooter, try to put them in a good place, the best possible place for them to score. You know, and just try to be kind of like a coach out there more than a player. You know, and try to do it that way.
I can't let you out without asking about Thursday night. It's a big game. It's semifinal game. It's to put you to the championship. Talk about that game, losing to them a couple weeks ago by 17, playing them with a chance to go to the championship. Talk a little bit about what it's going to take to overcome on Thursday night.
It's going to take exactly what we put together tonight. Is defense. You know, that team is predominantly a winning team in this league. You know, they're always usually in the semifinals of the championship every year, and you know, by getting beat by 17 last game, it's not just another game. We kind of take it personal, you know. And you know, me personally, I've never beat Artie in a I don't know the name of that team in a playoff situation ever. So this is kind of like that, you know, Bulls getting past the Pistons type thing for us. So you know, we just got to come play together. You guys got to come ready to play and treat it as another game, but at the same time bring it up another level.
All right, well, good luck, and I'll see you Thursday night, Julian. Julian Sensley. Wally, should I call you Wally the shooter after a game like that? Talk a little bit about your mindset coming into this game tonight and how it felt to be out there tonight on the court shooting so many threes, making so many threes.
Yeah, I was ready. The Summer League, when it comes to the playoff, everybody is starting to play defense and stuff. So I was home getting ready, getting my mindset, coming out tonight, hitting some shot because the past two games, I didn't hear any threes, so I was ready for tonight.
You drew the assignment of guarding Jeremy Robinson, who's known for his offense in this league, has gone for some big numbers this summer. Tell us a little bit about your commitment to defense tonight and what it took for you to slow up Jeremy Robinson. Almost stopped him in a sense where he didn't score close to the numbers that he's averaging. Talk a little bit about your defense tonight.
Well, my defense always, good, but when it comes to guarding Jeremy, you gotta be ready for it. He's a good player. He can drive. He can shoot. So you gotta keep him in front of you, and then when they set the screen, you gotta go over. Because if you go under, he's gonna shoot. So I give credit for my bigs too. They helped me a little bit on the screen, so I was ready for him.
Well, Wally, I want to congratulate you on tonight's game, and I want to wish you good luck on Thursday night's game. Try to bring home that victory. I'll see you in the finals.
Thank you.
Sitting here with the coach from Wealth Strategies, Marco Johnson. Marco, we talked a little bit about your defense at halftime. Talk a little bit now that the game's over about what it took to get the victory tonight.
Yeah, it just took everyone playing good team defense and limiting the other team to one shot. We also got out in transition. We challenged them to play transition defense. And we knew that wasn't their strength, so we wanted to continue to keep our energy up. And every time we get the basketball, we want to look up court and try to finish.
Your transition was definitely effective tonight. You're going to play a team on Thursday night that also likes to get out in transition. Talk a little bit about Thursday night and the two teams and what it's going to take on Thursday night to make a final.
We're going to have to look at the roster and the players that they have, but definitely we want to slow the game down a little bit because they don't have the size that we have. We're going to get out in transition still. We're going to try to pick our spots, and they have a lot of good players on that team, so I'm still racking my brain about this game strategy.
Speaking of their good players, Derek Lowe will be back for that game. He's a big part of the decision-making process. I saw Artie earlier today, and he said how good it feels to have Derek back. Any idea about what we're going to do, what you're going to do with Derek Lowe on Thursday night?
We're going to try to really make him work hard to get the basketball, and when he does get it, we're going to try to get it out of his hands. So if it takes sending a couple defenders at him to make him pass the ball, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get those other guys to make some decisions from Thursday.
The last time you played this team didn't go so well, 17-point win in their favor. Looking back on that game and then moving forward to Thursday night, what are some of the things you're going to have to do to keep this team close so you can actually pull this game off?
We're just going to limit them to one shot, rebound the basketball, try to get some baskets, try to go towards the basket and get some baskets. We're going to try to really slow it down, throw it on the block, make them play some good post defense. We have Julian, so they really can't match up with him. No one in this league can really match up with Julian.
Can I put you on a spot for maybe a prediction? Can I get a prediction out of you?
We're going to play hard.
Marco Johnson, Wealth Strategy. We're out of here. Aloha.